Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. Today I'm in a sitting room in Blackrock. In what's the exact area? I don't want the exact address. No.
I think Blackrock is fine.
Blackrock is vague enough.
Blackrock is fine.
I actually remember every time I do a podcast where you live, you're very reluctant to give out the exact air code.
32 Scar Hard Road.
32 Ski Hard Road.
Yeah, look, I got a lot of fans from the Young Offenders who would be very interested to know where I live. So
he lives on the Ski Soft Road.
The oh! Boom, back at the net.
Both funny and incorrect. My favourite kind of gag.
Today is February the 8th. It is 2:59 p.m. I'm here with three scallywags that haven't been on the podcast in quite a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Sully, Tig and Dom.
Whoa!
They don't even. They're just playing ball with me here now.
Sorry,
but
Dom was looking at boobs.
Tyke showed me boobs just before we were supposed to say hi.
Oh yeah, can I see the
boobs I have access to anymore, me on?
May I see these boobs?
Dark.
They're lovely. They're lovely. Lovely boobs.
It's also the 5th. It's not the 8th of February.
Who is that lady there now? And is that an actress or something?
It just popped up. Oh my god.
Oh, did it?
I bet it did.
Oh, okay.
Bit of carry-on humour there.
This is going to be a very, hopefully,
Short.
succinct kind of 30-minute podcast.
Okay. We can cut this bit out, so.
And no, it'll all be kept in. It'll all
Cut
be
out
kept
the
in.
lads' pants.
There'll be no. Look, listen. We're all red-blooded males.
2 hours gone.
I'm just happy this hasn't been filmed for YouTube. Tig, what does FIFA mean to you?
Corruption.
The game.
I think he's referring to EAFC.
What do you mean? Like, what does it mean to me?
What does it like FIFA? What does it mean to you? Like the game FIFA?
It means relaxing. It means unwinding. It means calming my busy mind. Get very focused on the game with the lads. It means laughter. It means fun. It means competition. And it means good times.
Would you like to put money on it?
I'd love to, but I know that you don't because you.
I'd love to put a fiver on it. I was thinking about this during the week.
Fuck
I'm
fivers.
well up for that as well.
A fiver, like
I think that would ruin it.
I think it would, because I think it's
No,
competitive
no,
enough as it is.
He's conservative.
Yeah,
He's not
you
a
just
gambler.
want to keep all the money for yourself.
Well, I think it would be
And he's
nice-
actually probably the best player in the room, and he still doesn't want
Yeah,
to
he's the
gamble.
most game
It's
for
not
it.
about the
Yeah,
losing
yeah.
of the money. It's as soon as you add money into it, it changes the whole dynamic of
Yeah.
it. Right now, we're playing for the pure enjoyment of playing it. If we added money to it, it would change the dynamic.
But it's pretty septic enough when we're in the heat of the
Yeah.
you know.
So you can only imagine how septic it would get if we were all playing for cash money.
I don't think I'd feel any more hatred than I already do for you.
Yeah, I'd be the
Oh.
same. I'd be like,
Too much?
I think it would focus my attention, because sometimes my attention isn't that focused. But like when there's money on it, it always feels a little different. Like,
Yeah, it's
what do you think, Sol?
Throw $2,000 in the kitty there.
It's a flutter, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're throwing 50 quid ahead on it. It's just like a five or a tenner. It's just like you've your little bit of pocket money leaving then, like.
Well,
you know?
Sully, that's
Or
where it
gone.
That's very
starts.
confident,
It
Sully.
starts with fivers and tenors and then progresses to 50s and
Not always.
hundreds.
Not always.
Well, I wouldn't like to put 50 on it now. 50 would be uncomfortable, but a fiver,
Maybe at Christmas.
yeah.
I wouldn't even bring my wallet unless we're talking 50s.
Do you see why there's a problem, Con?
Get
not
you
just me.
charged.
Why don't we just fucking put 100 each onto a Revolut account, right, that we all have access to, and we'll see how we get on. No?
Because this whole podcast was just a ruse, is it, to try and get us gambling?
To get back gambling full time.
Well, we know you like
This
to
podcast is brought to you by Betfred, by the way.
we know you like poker, and I like poker too, actually, and Tig likes flutter as well. So peer pressure, Dom.
Look, man, I was in the Leisureplex yesterday and I had a handful of 20-cent coins and I was popping them in that machine like there was no tomorrow.
Wow.
So don't you talk to me about gambling, Sully.
This guy lives on the edge, Sully.
Well, like we could
He's an
get
edge liver.
We could get a big, you know, because the horse racing industry is under pressure at the moment with the gambling. So like FIFA is the natural home for gamblers. Like, you know, we could have FIFA TV. You know, Ty could host it.
Oh,
and,
thanks, Sully.
and we could have.
At least someone's fucking recognising your talent. That's
Don't
what
get
I'd
me
say.
started on Cork Person of the Month.
Well, no,
Well, speaking of Cork Person of the Month,
is Shane Casey here? He's the Cork Person of the Month this month.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm delighted for Shane, but I feel like being overlooked now for nearly 500 months in a row is wrong.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's hurting. It's damaging my family. It's damaging my brand.
Yeah.
Thanks, my son. People are hurting.
Sully's kind of giving non-verbal affirmations to
Most
Tyke.
of Sully's best work is non-verbal.
Sully agrees, guys.
You
Sully
can't hear,
agrees.
guys, but Sully really greatly appreciated that gag.
Um,
I know. I just think, look, all I'm saying is if people would like to step in, I don't know if there's anyone listening to this that would have my back, I suppose, as a kind of, look, not my words, but like a really significant cultural figure in the city.
whose words are they, though, if they're not yours?
That's a head scratcher. Dom's?
I think I said that at some point. Yeah,
You
yeah.
definitely said those words, maybe not in that order.
I think Sully might have
relation.
mimed it. Sully might have mimed that.
I think maybe day 200 of lockdown, I think I said something to that effect.
Under duress.
I literally can't
While
talk.
it's being waterboarded.
This is the last thing I'll say now for the rest of the podcast. I'll just do kind of.
I'll Sully talk away.
Please, Sully.
You're back in the game.
Cheers.
No, I'm just saying,
Cheers.
there's people out there listening. I don't want to make it all about me, but if you would like to start a campaign to try and find out why I'm being overlooked, because my overall desire would be to turn it down. I'd love to turn it down for my community. I think that would be a significant moment for the community that I had to fight to get out of, Dom. I had to fight to get out of it.
Yeah, sure, mate.
So if you were, let's to be clear. So if Manus rings you up and says, "Look, I think it's your time, Cork Person of the Month, March," then you're 12-1 then to be Cork Person of the Year.
Oh,
Gets
here
you-
we go with the gambling again.
I'll take
Well,
it.
it's just mathematics,
How
Dom.
much
Do
you
you
want?
know what I mean? It's just mathematics. Minimum 12-1, but I reckon you'd be a lot shorter than 12-1 for
I'd
Cork
say
Person of the
Manus,
Year.
Stick your CPM up your arse.
And you heard it here first, guys. You
Yeah.
heard it here first. Manus, I don't know if you're listening to this podcast.
That's not a call out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd actually,
I'd love to see Manus do a call back video. Actually,
I'd call him. I'd actually fight him. If
Yeah.
he wants to fight me in the Peace
Manus,
Park.
Tig,
He's big enough
think he
lad,
wants
like.
to fight you in the Peace Park
For charity.
for charity. Are we talking
Bare knuckle boxing.
Will your tops
Yeah.
be on or off?
Oh, tops are off. Come
Tops
on, mate.
have to be off. It's the summer. You're on your holidays, man. You have
Is
to
there
take.
any point in fighting Manus with my top on?
You could
None.
describe it as
None.
mano e manus.
Winner automatically gets selected as Cork Person of the Year.
And that's what FIFA means to you, so is it?
Letting off a bit of steam. Being boyish or girlish. Girls are very welcome here as well. Just no girls have shown up so far. Dom doesn't think so.
There's a big sign saying no girls allowed on the door, mate.
Yeah, it's about unwinding.
And is
about
that? I
having
thought
good
that was
fun.
just you didn't like the band.
No.
It's about boys. It's about boys having a boyish laugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a boys' zone.
Sally,
I
what does it mean
suppose.
to you, bud? Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to control out to others,
You
am I?
can throw it out to anyone, man.
I'm just fascinated how Tyke managed to answer the question about what does FIFA mean to him with I didn't get nominated for Cork Person of the Month. I just think that's fascinating.
Are you surprised that it got back to that, though, Dom?
No. I mean, he's got this, unmatched ability to weave in whatever the hell he wants to talk
does
about.
he? Clearly not unmatched enough for Manus.
You're no match for Manus.
Nah.
Manus has your match. Sully, I'll move it on. Sully, playing the guitar, right, at a big gig, right? You've done a few big gigs over the last 12 months.
yeah.
Do you know when it's a big gig and there's a big crowd there and it means something?
Yeah.
And you've been supporting, like you and Tig do a lot of like stuff on stage together. When you're in the middle of a big song and you're in the middle of something that you've written yourself, what's that like in your brain then? Like,
I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. So, like, I think when you're performing, as you probably know, like, you're just focused on delivering it, but like, I'm comfortable enough now that I definitely enjoy it too. Like, especially because like some of the stages we played on were quite big and with brilliant sound and all that kind of stuff.
what's
So
the best, most enjoyable stage you were on?
It was probably Ulster Hall, Belfast. Yeah, that was.
I regret not doing that.
That's my
Yeah.
favourite one as well, I think.
I
I've ever
regret.
done.
Yeah.
That's like obviously I had other engagement, but I would have loved to have done that Ulster Hall.
Or you
gig.
would have had a laugh. The whole day was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, it was the first time up in Belfast in a long time, and we kind of drove in kind of down the hills as well. We kind of came in the wrong way, typical us, But it was just beautiful to kind of come down the hill and see, like Cork, you know, in a few years now, Cork could be relegated like to the second nicest or third nicest city in Ireland. Like,
Would you
know
put
what I mean?
Belfast above
Steady.
Cork?
That's the kind of worry that I have now, like, you know, down the line. But
I'd
I'm just
never-
saying, like,
Would you put Belfast? Like,
it is a
aesthetically-
particularly good looking city, I think.
Oh, Derry
Yeah,
kicks the
yeah.
shit out of it, I think.
Well, no, Derry is gorgeous too, like, but I think it was the reception we got. People were happy to see us, and there was a genuine kind of emotion for a couple of
Good
songs
few old
as well,
dolls
like.
were chatting to you a good bit and stuff.
Had you a
What?
few old
Not
dogs coming
allowed
on
to
you?
say
Well,
Sol?
that's where I thought Sully was going to go with his answer, was talking about the ladies.
The attention you get from the ladies after a gig, is it
No, because
intoxicating?
Well, Sully, we know you're in a committed relationship. We all are. I'm just saying, like, you know, female attention.
I like it when I get it once or twice a year.
Yeah,
which is rare.
It's just it's a lot for me to deal with, like, you know.
Yeah.
So we're talking too many ladies. Then, Sully.
Like, you could have got out of that much easier.
I wish.
Don't worry, we have very humble listenership to this podcast,
I
so
know.
your secrets are safe.
I don't know,
But if there are any ladies listening,
You had a ladies' incident in Derry there recently.
I had a ladies' incident in Derry where
you could call it the Derry Girls incident.
well,
Oh,
I
see.
God.
no, I think you could. You could.
No,
You
you absolutely
You
could.
totally could. But you'd have to, it would be kind of the Derry girl kind of a thing, like, you know,
Okay.
although there was girls around her, but there was one in particular who, you know, she saw me, she liked what she saw, she wanted a bit of it, but, you know, ultimately, I shot the pants.
You're a married man.
And did you tell? You went home and then you told your old all about
I did.
this, your wife.
Noel, I
think
did. Yeah.
that's
I actually think I
think
did an episode about it.
noble. That's admirable.
Yeah, well, like, it was just a bit of flirting now, like, do you know what I mean? But
Did
it
your wife-
definitely,
Did your wife believe you?
she did, yeah. I was pulled out of it. I was pulled out of the conversation. Chris Kent pulled me out of the conversation. But all I was doing was just talking and enjoying being flirted with.
Did you tell her that part?
Yeah.
Well,
would-
I
if
certainly,
was the wife,
I
would
certainly
like to
hope
hear
so,
that.
given that it's coming out in this podcast.
Yeah. If you were a wife, you wouldn't like to hear what?
I wouldn't like to say I was pulled out of the situation by Chris. I mean, I was just about to.
Well, I'm
you know-
exaggerating the situation a small
Okay.
bit. I was down by I was at a jukebox and like this girl was like, "Oh, can you help me pick out a song?" and you know all this kind of stuff.
Situation with the jukebox.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I was like,
Sorry, all our Northern
I was just
listeners.
after doing a great. It's good accent, son. Good accent. And I was just after doing a gig, and I was, you know, kind of feeling fine, and then getting a bit of attention, female attention, and I was just soaking it up. I'm 46. I don't get it that often anymore. I was just soaking it up, and then but Chris misconstrued it for being a little bit more serious than it was, and kind of
projecting, was he?
yeah. Well, I don't know if he was, but he pulled me out of it anyway and had a word in my ear, and I was like, "You're right, Chris. You're right." And I just went down then and I just picked out a few songs with her then for the next couple of hours, and then I just went back and flat her, and that was it.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, very nice.
And
night.
you have told your wife.
No, I
about
haven't
this.
told her that bit at all. No. I'm never gonna say
Just,
that.
just between us, I'd
That's just
leave that
between
part
us now
off.
and the
Okay.
listeners. Like,
He doesn't have any editing skills.
Oh,
she's
dear.
editing it.
Is she?
She's editing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Babe,
yeah,
would you
yeah.
take that bit out in case you hear it?
Yeah.
But no, it isn't. But getting it back to your Sully, it is
Yeah, it's all
something
good.
that is. It is something that, you know, when you're in the entertainment or business, you come across it every now and then.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the perks of the job, really, isn't it?
Dom, do you enjoy female attention from fans?
I think any
This is the-
heterosexual man would enjoy.
This is the
female
guy who
attention.
probably gets the most of it now, without a doubt.
Well,
Sully,
you don't hang around with me all the time, Sully.
Certain demographics, definitely. yeah.
We don't know that for a fact.
Ty does all right. I'll have you know.
Well, I'll
with
be honest.
admirers.
It was one of the motivating factors that caused me to go into the performance business in the first place.
Yeah, of course.
And I think, you know, any young man in his late teens or early 20s who's deciding what to do with his time and his life, if one particular avenue results in you getting a hell of a lot of female attention, you're probably going to pursue that. But I think, and it's certainly the case with me now, when you are at the stage perhaps when it's no longer a primary motivating factor, you almost have to either redefine why you're doing it or stop doing it. And that's certainly something that I'm wrestling with at the moment.
Like,
How are you wrestling with that?
Well, just what I'd like to do going forward, and whether I want to continue in performing, and whether I even want to do it anymore, or whether I want to devote my energy to something else.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of the motivating factors was not just female attention, but attention in general. And if you no longer crave that, then you've got to find some other reason to do it.
But Dom, I'd like to say something on your behalf there, that you were always very motivated by making strong work as well. I think you're being a little bit harsh on yourself to kind of reduce it to pure pandering to female attention.
I agree with you, and thank you for saying that. I would say a primary motivation was getting attention. You know, back when I was maybe 19 or 20 and I was deciding, right, I want to do this as a career.
Yeah.
And then obviously that subsides a little bit and you focus on making strong work and what have you. But yeah, it's interesting having to find new incentives and new motivations as you get older.
Do you think? Sorry to interrupt this. Do you think Manus started Cork Person of the Month for the same reason, or
for Tyke's attention? Is it?
No,
because he certainly got it, Sully.
yeah.
To get girls. Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
We've certainly got this girl real mad.
We'll ask him in the Peace Park.
We'll have to ask him. I know he'll be wrestling with his conscience, but will he be wrestling with Tyke as well?
I mean, surely the reason that Sully first picked up a guitar was to get the ladies.
To get
Manus' attention, yeah.
Guys, we need to just
Why
let Manus.
Even being
we need to sashay off the Manus topic.
I think it's.
Let's
for
just
me,
let Manus go.
It's the music is obviously it is a factor without a doubt, but it's definitely the sound of music for me is what made me
musical.
But
Sully
made me stick with it, like, you know, as in the actual
the hills are alive.
music as a thing, like, you know.
But Sully, was it getting girls, or was it? I'm just saying this is what was going on in my head getting into music when I was a teenager. It was kind of being cool as well.
Yeah,
I desperately wanted to be cool, like.
But it's cool because you enjoy the songs, or you enjoy singing along to it, or you want to be able to sing. But obviously, you can't kind of separate them. They're ultimately.
But you're more of a pure musician than I was. I wanted to be around. I wanted to be around artistic pursuits, but I definitely wanted to be in a position that would make me feel like I was cool. And then as a connection to that, I'd be hopefully attractive to women as well. But I think the idea of being cool came first for me, personally.
I also think that the type of attention you might get as a performer, I don't know if it's generally what a guy loves, I would say, because I think men enjoy pursuit in many different contexts. Like in sport, we enjoy the pursuit of victory or the pursuit of greatness. I even think when it comes to women or relationships, we like to be pursuing something. And so if a woman is just, you know, in the case of, we'll say, a big superstar, if a woman is throwing themselves at a superstar, I don't know if that's going to be particularly, you know, enjoyable in the long run or sustaining.
Man, I was in Derry.
You know what I'm talking about.
I was down by the jukebox. I just wanted to get up to the lads. She was like, "Can you help me pick out a song here?" And I'm like, I enjoyed a lot of it, actually. No, sorry. Actually, I take it all back.
Okay.
Yeah, as a superstar. Yeah. No, I think it's okay.
Are you sure you're not talking about the film Grease? You're not confusing your time in Belfast with the film Grease.
Watch Grease in the hotel room.
You know what? You're right. Actually, I'm completely confusing.
Well, Noelle will be relieved to hear that.
It was actually Grease the musical.
She is your only Sandra Dee.
Sorry to interrupt, but Sully has done a wonderful little interpretation of Grease in a Derry accent, and I think we probably need to hear it.
Come on, Sol.
A summer loving. I've just slipped into one again.
I think it's Sean Connery. If it's Sean Connery, if it's anyone.
There, actually.
I'll never give
Summer loving, having a blast.
Podcast.
Sully, just before we move on to Tom's question, right? I just want to get you're on stage, you're playing, Tyke is singing.
Do you look up
to
me?
Do you get lost in it? Do you get lost? Do you ever get do you ever get lost in the music as you're playing it?
Yeah, she got lost in a couple of times.
I get
rock and roll.
I usually get lost off stage, alright, but not on stage.
We both got lost.
Like, yeah, like for some of the kind of easier parts, you can just totally enjoy it and kind of, you know, watch Tyke kind of perform and kind of sit back and soak it in. So yeah, like definitely. But I always find that like you're there to kind of get it right. You're there to kind of perform a job and look like you're enjoying it too. Like so, but like in terms of a buzz of playing your own songs on stage, I loved every second of it. Yeah. So yeah. But like my job was very easy because I just literally the crowd is warmed up, so I come on at the end, I'm playing a few songs, and people are loving it, you know. So it's a great crack driving around as well.
But Sully, you're playing your own music, like again, like you're
being humble now.
You're being humble there, like I mean, we were doing 4 songs. There was an awful lot of audience interaction as well and stuff. So like you were a big part of the shtick, like you're a big part of the second half of the show, like so it's not like you're I just thought you were being a bit reductive there about what you're bringing to the table. But that's interesting. So from your perspective, you're like there to get it right in the moment.
Well, no, like I'm totally enjoying it, but like what
Okay.
I'm saying is that like maybe it's something like it's almost like the kind of thing that people think if you're performing on stage, it's like that you're going to a gig every night. It's not like you're there.
Yeah.
You're not it's you're there to kind of make sure it goes smoothly and all
You
that.
do your
like,
job.
Yeah. Like
you'd probably be a bit like that as
yeah,
well, wouldn't you?
yeah.
You'd be quite a metronomic performer.
I used to be. I certainly
Right.
used to be. Yeah, and well, the problem with that is you then get preoccupied with mistakes, and if you make a mistake, it can then ruin the rest of the performance if you're so focused on the technical side of it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you think of it as a performance, and it's going to be it's going to be a bit rough, or it's going to be a bit loose, or you'll make a mistake here, or you'll do that thing well, and having a more balanced perspective on it, I think it does make you a better and certainly a more relaxed performer overall. But I think that comes with experience, because certainly in the beginning I would have been exactly as Sully was describing there, just hyper focused on, right, I couldn't give a shit about the audience now, I couldn't give a shit about anything else, I just have to really focus on what I'm doing and get my job right.
So you're saying if Sully sticks with it, that someday he'll be a bit like
Sully,
no,
the only thing I'll say is you never know.
No, it's like
You never know.
I'm totally enjoying it, and in the moment, I guess I meant that it's kind of like maybe it's like definitely when I was younger, when we used playing bands, like I'd be very nervous on those gigs.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I don't get that from you now at
But
all.
I'm not this time, which is great. Like, you know, I'd say that definitely comes with experience. So I definitely probably wouldn't. I would have been a nervous wreck if I was doing these gigs 15 or 20 years ago. But now,
Yeah.
it's just I know maybe I've just gotten better over the years, or more practice and more gigs, yeah.
And I know you're eager to move on, Con. I just say one more thing, because like when we were in a band years ago, I was a very cocky. I know it's probably hard to imagine, but a very cocky, flamboyant type of frontman. And the lads behind me they were superb musicians, but sometimes they would be quite nervous being on stage, and it was a weird experience at times, because then I would have to almost amp up the cockiness, I felt, to kind of show that we really wanted to be there and whatnot. But I don't find you like that at all. No, that's why I was fascinated that your process would still a little bit be about, like, I've got a job to do here and I need to fucking make sure the songs are played as well as we did them in rehearsals.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm totally enjoying it, and like definitely for parts of the gig, you know, I'd be looking out, and like we'd work parts, and so like
You're off the tour, Sully. That's
I'm loving
it.
it.
You're just
I'm
off
loving
the
it.
tour.
Yeah.
That's
Dom.
even cousin coming through as well, who's very good. Sully's a bit shitting himself
Anytime
out.
you see anyone with a guitar, you're always got to go, who the fuck is that bollocks?
Yeah, especially when they're family. Like,
I'm not threatened. No, I'm
on,
decent
yeah.
enough at this stage.
Dom, your turn. What is joy?
What is joy? Fleeting.
What a great answer.
Yeah.
Douglas Murray answer.
No, it's a good answer.
Do you want to call out any other book titles you see over on the bookcase, Ty?
We wouldn't
No,
embarrass
it's a
you.
fucking good answer.
Wouldn't
I know,
embarrass
but I
you.
mean,
expand,
can't see any Douglas Murray
expand.
books.
I think it's
The War on
something
the West is there.
that doesn't really...
Sorry.
Guys, I'm trying to
Guys,
talk
Yeah,
here.
sorry, man.
Guys, a bit of respect now. You had your turn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that warrants pursuit, if I'm being honest, to go back to the idea of pursuit.
Okay.
Because I think joy, like sadness, like hunger, like thirst, they're all fleeting. They come and they go. You just accept them. You appreciate joy when it comes, and then you let it go when it goes away. Just like negative emotions. You let them come and you let them go. I think it's much better to pursue something that is meaningful. Do you know?
What's meaningful to you?
I do not have any Russell Brand books. That's
They're looking.
Monica's.
There's a Jordan Peterson book there, all right?
I'll take ownership of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we
There
can
is
do,
a Russell
we can
Brand
do a
book.
different podcast on my bookshelves if you want.
Guys, we're
I
getting
know.
off the topic.
There's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
book.
yeah.
We are.
Recovery book. Recovery by Russell Brand. Is
Thank
that
you.
is that the fellow with the hair?
As I said, it's Monica's book. It's not.
Oh my God, there's a brilliant book there. Just noticed.
Oh, Portrait of a Piss Artist as a Young Man, is it?
Page Turner.
Le PhD.
Anyway, Con, sorry, I feel like
yeah,
I'm making it
you're
about me.
you're making it about
Oh,
yourselves there now.
sorry
guys.
to Con.
Sully's after getting a bit infected as well. But go on anyway, Tom. You were actually being quite eloquent.
Well,
I was
look.
enjoying it.
Ooh, I wouldn't like the use of it actually there if I were you, but go on.
No, I think he was. I think it was in contrast to you guys that I was speaking. Am I right,
But
Con?
if you wanna
Well,
perceive it
right
that
in
way,
saying that.
I mean, at the end of the day, perception is up to yourselves, lads.
I need to protect my fragile ego. Yeah, pursue. I don't think it's worth spending mental energy on joy. Really.
So what do you pursue? What would you pursue?
Ulster says no. Basically.
Ulster says no.
No joy.
Is there like what are you pursuing? So we'll
No,
say if you
don't.
like, because I do understand like when you were saying fleeting.
Yeah.
You know, you pursue like I do completely understand that you'll be I'm going to try and do this now because it'll bring me joy. But then you'll do it. It'll bring you joy, and it is fleeting. It's for
Fleeting Mac Ale.
That's okay. That's fine.
Not bad. Fleetwood Mac.
Like if I'd
Put
say
it on the board.
if I'd interrupted someone to say that, how would I feel? You know,
like I don't know.
Putting on the board.
I don't know.
But
Was it?
I feel like people who set an objective or a goal of being happy, it's a bit like saying, "Oh, I'd love not to ever be thirsty again."
Yeah.
You're going to be thirsty again. Or I'd love to never be hungry again. You're going to be hungry again. It's not something that is sustainable. And there's also the diminishing return. So something that gave you joy as a 5-year-old, it's certainly not going to give you the same joy. Sully disagrees.
So you want to push back?
Sharp
on that?
intake of breath.
Oh, that was purely accidental.
You were
All
just
right, okay.
breathing normally, is it?
Yeah.
Physiology.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
no,
God,
you-
that was just a coincidence.
I was just thinking when we drove past Bobby's Bistro in Belfast, and when you were talking about hunger, like, you know, so I don't
I'm
know
sorry
if that
about
should be
this,
kept
Dom.
in.
I
Like,
don't condone that gag.
it's not a joke, like, you know. It's knowing.
I think the people who need to apologise most, Con, are not doing any apologising. So it's funny.
we're sorry for what we did.
Sorry for everything, actually.
Oh.
Everything I've ever done.
All the good and the bad.
Well, I take that. I appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
Well, Dom, I enjoyed your answer. I'd love
Such
to
as
have
it
heard-
was.
I'd love to have it
Your
fleshed
answer-
out.
Tweak it.
Your answer was very
A bit
fleeting.
like joy, my answers are fleeting. Sorry.
But we only have 5 minutes left because we do want to wrap this up and get into the serious business of FIFA. So we're going to play trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. And the first thing that was trending today was #profit. That's what's trending. Does anyone want to
Dom.
Are we talking Moses or are we talking cash money?
I didn't even go into it. So it could be Moses parting the sea,
Did you
or it
catch
could
the
be.
spelling?
I did. PR. Yeah. So it's profit as in profit and loss.
Cash money.
Cash money.
A
No H.
worthwhile pursuit up to a point. And you get to the stage where money doesn't buy you anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what's that? What's that number? I wonder. It's
About
different for everyone.
75,000 a year, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
75. Do you know
Yeah.
what? I think that would fix everything in my life as well. 75 grand a year.
Anything more than that, the return becomes non-linear. It doesn't correlate.
Can I just say something on
Please.
that? It's a personal grudge that I want to just address. A couple of years ago when we were living
Oh, it's because
together.
I'm middle class, isn't it?
Yes. A couple of years ago when we were living together, you said that I'd never earn a certain amount of money.
Oh, here we go.
I just want to tell you that I earned it 2 years ago.
Okay.
Not a great year last year.
Last year wasn't great. How's this
The
year panning
before-
out?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So I just wanted to tell you
What
that.
was the
like,
figure? You don't want to say.
I can't say.
But it was in that ballpark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't. You said like
But
an
6
artist would never earn that, and that's
Okay.
one of the reasons why you were saying.
Oh, well, I don't think he was directing it at you then.
Oh, he
direct.
was. Oh, yeah, he was looking
I
straight.
think
into
no, I
me.
didn't say an artist. I think I said you would
Yeah,
never
he said
make-
me. Yeah, he said me. He said this.
Because I don't think he's an artist.
this so-called artist here, I think, is what he was saying.
Yeah,
I have
I mean,
nothing to offer but that grudge.
but I'm impressed because I mean it is tricky for an artist to make a decent wage, let alone one that's competitive.
Not
with
for me.
other- Okay, okay, look.
It's easy enough for you, is it?
Piece of piss.
Piece of this.
No, I'm being mostly playful, but I just like to, because sometimes Dom is one of my best friends, but he's got very clear ideas in his head of like how things can work, where you can go, where the ceiling is, and I just like to sometimes encourage him to believe that there are no ceilings. There's just ceilings of the mind.
And I kind of I
There's
enjoy.
no ceilings to profit, like.
Well, there's no ceilings to like. So like
Ideas.
if you've got this job or you've got that job, like would it be? Am I being unfair?
You're not at all, and it reminds me of something that happened with
Think big.
Cahoots, whereby I think we were deciding on which venue we wanted to play in, and on the one hand, I think you had maybe Laura who wanted to play Parky Queeve or something like that. I
Marquee, I think.
thought the Cat Club would be a good start, and Tig was like, "No, we'll sell out the Opera House," and he was right. It was like, you know, I was aiming too conservatively. Laura was probably not conservative enough, and Tig found the right balance between it. But I would tend to be that way in general. I am conservative by temperament. I tend to go on what I think is likely, And I think that's a self-limiting approach sometimes, because you'll never push beyond what you think is you're capable of. Yeah.
Like you
So I
never-
need to surround myself with people like Tig.
I do think
push me beyond
it's
that.
good to have like absolutely enormous ambition or enormous goals when you're starting. I do agree with. I'd be on
Think big, like.
think big,
Well-
aim way higher than you're comfortable with.
And it's coming from a good place
And
as
it
well,
is
because
coming.
like we lived together for a couple of years, and like I'm Dom's biggest fan. Like he's an extremely talented person, so he would have been, in my opinion, very, very easily able to break the ceilings of his own mind within this world of the arts if he thought big, as Sully says.
Yeah.
Did you coin that phrase, Sully?
I actually
Think
did,
big.
Yeah.
Did
Just
you?
no.
Just so you know as well, do you remember that? Not from a few years ago.
Sully.
Sully.
Was that you, Sully?
Sully, yeah.
Like I coined.
Shut the front door. Was that Sully's as well?
Not. You know what? I don't know.
I coined this as well. That is so Sully. I coined that one as well.
Just viewers, you can't see, but Sully was pointing directly in my face quite aggressively when he said that.
We all remember that show on Nickelodeon. That's so Sully.
That's so Sully.
It was
The star of that, so Sully.
it was a big show. They used to
All
sit-
right, how are you getting on, goals? I'm taking my top off.
No, that's Tig and Manus.
Anyone want to hear a Sean Connery song?
Hashtag. I have to move on. Hashtag
So
Sky
shall we?
Sports. Sky Sports. Sully. Hashtag Sky Sports.
Oh. Actually, Roy Keane kind of springs to mind now immediately, because he's so kind of intertwined with it at this stage. With Sky Sports, I think their coverage it's good. It's good.
The reviews are in.
Analytical.
I
love it.
like. I mean,
A lot done more to do.
Carragher.
Let's keep
and,
the recovery going.
Carragher and Neville, they've done okay. Like, and actually, while we're on the topic of football as well, since because I was meaning to set the record straight, I have a big apology to make from the last podcast.
Brilliant.
When we were doing the World Cup
I
one.
forgive you.
Go on,
I had
Sal.
just a massive boo boo, and I just like to make a big kind of deal out of pointing. I actually pointed out that Anthony was my top tip for the World Cup.
Anthony, as in the.
Man United.
Oh, jeez.
But like
Alright.
in my defence, right? Like
didn't have a clue.
He had like he'd scored about 3 or 4 goals in a row there at that time. He'd cut in. He looked like he was going to be the next Arjen Robben, but like
You got that one wrong, son.
I got that one.
Yeah.
And Sully, in your
absolutely
defence
badly
now,
wrong, man.
I
Yeah.
totally forgot you said that. So you could have gotten away with it?
I know, but like it was on the record. Like
Oh, yeah.
it could have come back to bite me. in
Come
years,
back,
like, you know.
yeah.
The listeners would remember.
Yeah.
And they would. They'd be on. They'd be on. They'd be on.
But on the topic of Sky,
Listeners are brutal.
yeah, you're the
How
sisters are
dare you
ruthless.
attack my beautiful listeners?
I assume we should do a Euros podcast
We
as well.
definitely have
Yeah,
to do a
yeah.
Euros podcast. Yeah.
Um,
Sully, have you got Sky Sports?
I do on my laptop, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do watch the matches. I'm kind of I'm in the fantasy football league, and I'm taking it quite seriously the last couple of years. And
Managing a
I'm
team.
actually more into the football than I have ever been, which is kind of strange. Even though sometimes I think I'm wasting too much time here on football, like you
Yeah.
know. But,
Can I ask, as somebody who's recently gotten off social media, why is it trending, Con? Do you have any idea?
I haven't a clue.
Is there a controversy or something? Or
The reason I added it is because I've only repurchased Sky Sports this weekend. Everton were playing Spurs, and I got rid of it. It's gone for almost a year, and I repurchased it because I was like, okay, coming into the last 3 months of the season, Champions League matches are going to be going. I know they're on RTE as well, but the Premier League is very close at the moment, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind paying fucking 20, whatever it is, 21 or 22 quid a month for the next 3 months to watch some high quality business end football. So I just saw that and I just said, fuck it, I'll throw it on. But I don't know why it's trending.
What Premier League? The English one, is it?
The English Premier League, yeah.
what
That'd
Premier
be-
League?
And
The
when
Saudi
and when
one.
he said United there, he wasn't referring to Sheffield United, he was referring to
Yeah, yeah.
Manchester
Or
United.
Dundee United? Is that,
Yeah,
is that where he's going with this?
We have our own Premier League here.
Where's that?
Oh, do we?
In Ireland?
Yeah.
There's nothing Premier about it, mate.
Newsflash.
There's nothing Premier at all about it.
Well, it is literally called the Premier League.
In name only, mate.
Oh, you
Dom.
West Brit wet blanket.
Yeah.
Moving on. Hashtag
Munster says no, mate.
Munster says no.
Oh, I'm stealing that. I'm definitely stealing that.
That's the name of this
You can have
podcast.
it, mate, I don't-
That's the name of this episode.
I can picture Manus making the speech now.
To be honest, I'm not sure what it means, but you can
Munster
have
says
it.
no.
Neither am I.
Hashtag Valentine's Day. This is coming out next Monday, so it'll be relevant to then. And it was trending as well today. So
I see Valentine's Day as a load of bollocks.
Yeah, I do too,
I'm lucky enough to have a partner who agrees with that.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're both fairly clued into the fact that it's another capitalist nonsense to get you to buy bollocks. But I would urge people this Valentine's Day to think of our suffering brethren in Palestine.
No, I thought you were going to plug your book. So
No.
I thought he was going to have a pop-off Manus.
Oh, did you? Oh, I'm so predictable, am I? Well,
it's one of the three, man.
Did you predict?
It was one of the three.
The three-headed monster.
Myself and Dom just guessed incorrectly.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'm so myopic, predictable. But my points remain.
No, I
steadfast.
I agree.
And thorough.
We all absolutely agree. But Valentine's Day is a load of shit, and free Palestine. Last question before we abruptly hang up and get down to the serious business of FIFA is who's going to be the next Liverpool manager?
Roy Keane.
I'm
joking, obviously.
Oh my god!
Behave.
I would love it so much. You take him down.
It'll be someone from the continent, I'd say, some young upstart from Central Europe.
They're talking about Javi Alonso.
That's not a bad call. Yeah, and by Central Europe, I mean he's stationed in Central Europe, of course.
Can we rule out Stephen Staunton with Bobby Robson just overseeing?
I think we can rule out Bobby Robson.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It'll be Terry
I
Venables.
suppose that was predictable, was it?
Well, I think they can actually recreate.
What about Robbie Keane?
I don't want to hear that fucking man's name ever again as long as I live.
He's very quiet now. The fuck needs it.
Keane. Oh, yuck.
But they could get Bobby Robson back through modern AI technology, you know. Just see kind of.
Sully's just back from seeing that ABBA
concert.
Yeah. You just see Steve Staunton.
CGI
CGI Steve Staunton.
No,
Steve G.I.
Steve G.I. No, Steve Staunton would be real, but he'd have a hologram next to him.
Oh, would he, Sully? Would he? That's what you think.
That's good of Sully to retain
Steve
Staunton's corporeal form.
Well, look, Con, I think we can all safely say that it won't be Steven Gerrard. It won't be Steven Gerrard.
It can't be
Stevie G,
Gerrard.
I'd love it.
And if they did it would be suicide.
You just love to see.
But it's a
sour
poison
puss on the
chalice
sideline.
anyway.
You think so?
Whoever takes the next one, it's like Ferguson going from United.
I don't know. Well, the difference being that
They have a better
Klopp
squad.
has built a good squad, and he's
infrastructure.
he has done the renovation work
Everyone
that
thought that
Ferguson
about Fergie
didn't
as
do.
well, though.
No.
Guys, Liverpool
Ferguson
is
left an
such-
aging squad with
It's such a
Vidic and
club,
Ferdinand
like-
and Evran.
Sorry, man. It's such a club, kind of.
It's weird how we were both talking at the same
Yeah,
time.
you were starting.
And I hadn't finished.
It's such a club enmeshed in emotion that you couldn't rule out them appointing Stevie G.
Yeah,
I'd love it.
It's such a sentimental club, like, you know.
I would love it if they did that.
I would absolutely.
Kenny
love
Dalglish,
it.
maybe.
I would love it if they
With
did
Kevin Keegan supporting.
He's probably getting on a bit now, is he?
Steve Staunton and the CGI.
Bobby Robson.
Bobby Robson.
A Liverpool legend.
I think if we don't go with Munster Says No, the alternate title of the
Steve G.I.
podcast is
It has to be.
Steve Staunton and CGI
and
Bobby
CGI
Robson.
Robson. It's a sketch in itself.
Sounds like a cop duo TV show.
Guys, thanks a million for being on my podcast today. I really appreciate it. Let's get down to the dirty business of playing FIFA.
Are
Thanks.
we putting money on it?
Leave my mother and father alone.
Put a fiver on it if everyone has a fiver.
I'll spot Dom, so I'll half your winnings, Dom.
I'll
if you win.
spot Solly.
I'll
spot
put
you.
I'll put in 20 cents.
If you win it.
I'll spot Dolly.
I'll spot you, boy. I'll spot you.
And you know he's the
But
best
he
player.
puts in all the money and loses.
You
I'll
can't-
spot the tree.
You can't lose. Tune in next week when there's another episode. Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, thank you.
Shtay by the wall. Peace.